face on television, Michael, so that people will know who you are, since he was questioned when he was at the site the other day. Well, I don't even know who he is now. Well, you better know who he is.
I'll call the meeting.
He was at the site the other day, and he was not recognized. In fact, some official said, "What are you doing here? Who are you anyway?"
What site?
Call the meeting to order at 7:02 p.m. We were just having a friendly discussion. Has the board had a chance to review the minutes from our last meeting?
I have, and I move to accept as printed.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is approved for minutes. If Chief Janis was bumped.
He should be.
Yes, the chief will not be coming in. No other department head. Mike, you don't have anything for us, right?
No, doing a good job. You guys keep it up.
Thanks, Mike. We have an appointment tonight, but she has not joined us quite yet, so we will go back to that in a moment. No public hearings tonight. New business, Mr. McKinnon.
Nothing, sir.
Mrs. Smith.
Nothing.
Old business, Mr. McKinnon.
Even less.
Mrs. Smith.
No, sir.
Town administrator's report. Deb, do you mind filling in?
I do not.
Thank you.
Town administrator's report. First is ongoing. There's a classification hearing. The tax classification hearing will be 2 weeks from tonight on November 22nd. The town has vacancies on the Board of Appeals and the Board of Representative for Serpide. And we are also looking for volunteers who might be interested in either position to submit a letter of interest. The Serpide Commission usually meets on the third Wednesday of each month. Steve Smith, Executive Director of Serpide, can provide individuals who are contemplating applying for more information on the duties. The Board of Appeals meets on Wednesday evenings as well, but on an as-needed basis. So the Chairman of the Board of Appeals, Bob Newton, similarly would be able to tell potential applicants about the duties of the associate member. The deadline is next Tuesday, November 15th. Upcoming, we have the OPERU negotiations on November 10th. Sursage is holding a seminar on the prevailing wage law tomorrow, November 9th, from 10 a.m. to 12 noon here at the Town Hall. It's being given by Assistant Attorney General. And the SMHG Steering Committee meeting will be November 9th, further discussion on the Municipal Health Insurance Reform Act. In addition, and last but not least, is the Veterans Day celebration at the Raynham Middle Schools, which will be Thursday, November 10th.
Thank you, Deb. Any questions?
Thank you, Doug.
Okay. I neglected to inform the public that we were returning from 2 executive sessions prior to the meeting, one on contracts and one on personnel. We have appointments now. The order of business for appointments, now that our gentle lady of the evening has joined us.
Well, the brass band's not here.
Oh, the brass band's not here, it's right. The brass band.
Yeah. As the board knows, and I'm sure the public at home knows, we recently received the resignation of our long-term town clerk and our friend Helen Lounsbury, effective November 25, and as a result, we have an obligation to appoint a temporary town clerk until such time as a qualified replacement may be chosen by the electorate by vote of a ballot, which would be at our annual meeting on April 23rd. And so the obligation before us this evening is to appoint said individual as temporary town clerk until such time that an adequate replacement, and no pun intended, but that's how we have to word it, may be chosen by vote of the ballot. And so for comments and motions to the board, Mr. McKinnon.
I'd like you to repeat what you just said before. I just too much trouble. I hate to be pushy, but I think it'd be nice.
Whatever it is, I make that motion.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
We, that motion, just for clarification purposes, is to appoint Marsha Lounsbury, the present assistant town clerk. Lounsbury Sylvia, thank you.
Boy, no,
Sorry, Gary.
Not that at all. I've been married for 48 years.
As the temporary town clerk. So that would be the first thing. We'll have you come up if you want to say something in a minute, clerk. But the other motion that we have to do tonight is, we have from Marsha Sylvia to the board, I respectfully request a leave of absence from my position as assistant town clerk from November 26th through April 30th at 8 a.m. Thank you for consideration of this request.
I so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That is approved. Congratulations, Marsha. Would you like to say anything?
I would like to thank you.
Can you go to the podium?
To the mic.
Please, he promised me this would be
No, but
You know what
he
promises
didn't
are from a selectman.
Any cookies, no cookies.
You know, I was gonna make some this morning, but I
If they were chocolate chip, you could from the chair, but now you have to get up.
I promise, next week. Thank you all, I really appreciate it, I appreciate it. I hope I can, I'll do my best. The town clerk, it's an emotional thing for me, as you know. You know, I'll do my best to fill her shoes, but, you know, she's a size 4.5 and I'm a 7, and I don't think I can do it. But, you know, thank you, I appreciate the, it's an honor for me to ask me, and
I have every confidence in you, Marcia.
thank you.
We thank you very much for
Thank you.
taking on the responsibility.
Thank you.
There was
Thank you,
no
Mr.
other way it could go in our eyes.
No,
So we thank you
absolutely
very
And I
not.
think it's a very proud night for the town that you accepted the duties and responsibilities that we tried thrusting upon you. You certainly didn't need to do that, and your service over the past 20-some-odd years would have been sufficient had you chose to walk away, and you continue to serve with distinction and poise, and we appreciate that.
Thank
So
you, Mr.
congratulations.
Chair. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Good luck. If you ever need anything, you know where we are.
Oh, I do. Oh, I do. And you know,
know
and you
where
know
we
I'll
live.
call.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
very much.
Okay. Selectmen's report, Mr. McKinnon.
No.
No.
No, I don't have anything.
Okay. I do have 3 quick things for us. And I believe it's 3, and I lost track now. The first is, it's been a long day. The first is I was able to attend last week the South Coast Rail meeting that we had here, and on behalf of the town accepted the grant from the state for $20,000, which was following an application on our behalf to continue feasibility studies on the Route 138 corridor. I do want to preface my remarks and say that while this money does come from the pool of money designated for the South Coast Rail, that still in no way implies or insinuates in any way this board's support of the commuter rail. We've maintained our position. However, these funds were available for what we as a town felt was a need, and so we went after them as we would with any other grant. But I do want to make that comment because it wasn't carried in the papers that while these funds are commuter rail funds, it does not obligate us to support the rail in any way, shape, or form. And so I just want to make those comments. The other thing is, I know the 3 of us will be attending the Veterans Day celebrations this week. And those are open to the public. I'm starting off at the high school. I don't know if you all will be joining at that point as well, for Mr. Cipher.
What time is the high school? Because
8 a.m.
Oh, 8 a.m.
It'll be a busy
But
day.
he's going to be doing that all day
All
long
day.
until 2 o'clock in the
Yeah.
I know, I've been there
afternoon.
last
Yeah.
year, but I told
Yeah.
them this year. Plus, we have the volunteer time with the
12
Correct.
o'clock.
Council on
Yes.
Aging.
Yep.
And I extend on behalf of the American Legion an invitation to come at 11 o'clock on Friday. I don't know whether anybody has contacted you or not,
No, they
but they
haven't.
did give me a quick call, so I extend the invitation
Thank you very
to
much.
11 o'clock on Friday.
Thank you. And I'm just writing that note so I don't forget. I also last night attended the Bristol County Mosquito Control Budget Hearing in Dayton at Bristol Aggie. A very informative meeting, and I appreciated the invitation from Bristol Mosquito Control. They're asking for an increase in their budget by about $200,000. We had already done correspondence to the delegation and governor requesting their approval, but I wanted to make sure again that we had a presence there and that they knew we continue to stand behind them as they work to hopefully establish a more adequate response to AAA. And we've all made a commitment to stay on this topic. And so we'll continue to do that and work simultaneously with them to make sure that issue stays at the forefront.
Very good.
And that is all I have. No press time, citizen and community input. Mr. Tuxera.
Just a question, oh, you know my name?
I do.
Just a question on the grant
Yes.
feasibility study. Will you be forming a committee for that, or will you be in place to do that?
There's not really a committee. Basically, how it'll work is it's going to be a coordinated effort between Marilyn Wally, our planning director, and Serpide. Obviously, there will be opportunities for public input. And this is really to develop a plan. It's not necessarily it's not a binding plan, and so it's still working. But what this does is it provides us professional assistance in developing a plan without using town funds on that. But through economic and business development, they're going to be the point agency of the commission, which is chaired by John Noble, and he'll be kind of coordinated with his commission along with Marilyn Wally, and they meet, I believe it's the second Monday of every month at 5 p.m. here at Town Hall. And so that's where the majority of the discussions will take place, and those meetings are open to the public. Masha, is it the second Monday?
So there will be, I'm sorry?
Second Monday of the month.
I think it is the
Okay.
second Monday, I can check.
Yeah, it's available on the website.
Absolutely, yeah. So that's the commission that would kind of be coordinating it, along with Marilyn Wally, and she's here Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays every week.
Okay. My only, I don't know if it's a concern, but a question is, I look at that committee, I only see one name on there of anyone who actually lives in that whole area. All the other participants are business owners who may have businesses in that area or have a business somewhere in Raynham. But I would think that at least part of that committee should be made up people who live in that area and who are actually going to be impacted by whatever decisions may be made. That's what my concern is. I'm speaking here with myself, but I'm speaking for a number of us who are concerned about that. We just recently went through an attempt to take over about a third of First Street and Chickering Road and King Philip Street to make it all business zoned, and we don't want to see that kind of stuff happening again in a different format than an article at town meeting, in a committee that's going to recommend that to you folks, the state, whoever.
Well, I can attempt to address that in two different ways, and if the board wants to add, that commission isn't exclusively there for North Raynham or 138. They're responsible for the whole town and appointed by this board. And so that group wasn't assembled just for this task. I was on that before I was a selectman, so keeping that in perspective. The other thing is, years ago, it's still there, but it hasn't met in a while. There is a specific subcommittee of that commission for North Raynham.
And it hasn't, you're right, it hasn't.
Exactly.
In fact, I inquired as to some minutes to their last meeting and so forth, and never received a reply.
Yeah.
It looks like 2007 might have been the last time.
Before I was elected, I was the chairman, and so I was elected in '07, and I think that was the last meeting because I had to leave that position. But that's something that I would encourage you to call John Noblin on. John's the chairman, and that committee acted under Chairman Noblin's purview, and where it's still on the books, it can meet again. There is membership on it. There's a chairman of it, I believe it's Colin McRae now. You can obviously reach out to her also, because they're also public officials, and so you can always contact them and expect.
She does live in the area.
She does.
Right?
She does.
I think Phillip Street, I think. Is it
Mount Prospect,
Okay.
or Prospect Hill. I would definitely encourage you to attend the next meeting and let Chairman Noble know, because he was the one who started that committee. And he's keenly aware of the needs of the community as a whole, and I think you'll find him a receptive ear if you approached him on that.
John very well.
Yeah. I don't know if the board wants to add anything, though,
No,
No, you've covered everything.
so.
thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Does that
It's a concern.
address it
Well,
adequately?
you addressed my question,
Yeah.
okay? I don't know that you satisfied me, but you addressed my question.
Yeah.
Okay? Because the majority of that committee are the same people who tried to change the zoning of First Street, Chickering Road, and King Philip Street. So you haven't calmed my fears at all, but you have addressed the question, and I thank you for that.
Not a problem. Anything else for us tonight?
Nothing else, thank you.
We-
Other than, boy, you gotta do something to draw a crowd here.
You're in charge of crowds, so
Yeah,
you
right.
did a very good job.
No, I tell you. Anyhow.
I take the quietness as a sign we're doing okay here.
Sure, it is, Joe. Keep telling me.
Yeah, it is. You want to believe that. That's good.
Positive thinking, we call it.
Yes.
That's
Positive
great.
thinking
That's
is
great.
right.
Yes. Thank you, Mr.
Oh,
Texera.
When
All
they
right.
start storming the Bastille, we'll know we've done something wrong.
Exactly. Any emergency, Mike, from TCAM, Raycam.
Oh, get on camera, Mike.
I'm on camera. I want to remind everyone that next Thursday, the 17th, at Occasions, we're having our
Oh, yeah.
Eat-a-thon. That's what I'm going to call it. We have about 14 restaurants from the area coming, giving out samples, a lot of raffle things. I need those buckets for you next week, too.
Yeah. Mike, I just want to tell you while you're here, I was going to give you a pass, but since you brought it up, I was on the radio today trying to sell tickets, and apparently you gave them free ones.
Oh, yes, I did give some. I gave Tony Lopes and
Yeah.
Bob Folick.
Full sec, yes. Well, I
Full
was
sec.
on their show trying to sell them, and Tony said, why would they buy them when I can give them to you for free? So I tried.
All right, that's good. As long as someone's trying here, Joe. Thank you. That's all I got.
All right, thank you. Any emergency business tonight?
Except I'm gonna see Mike after for my free ticket.
What's the board's
You have
pleasure?
free tickets.
I do
You
have
already
free-
gave them to
Oh, are
you.
those mine? I
Yeah,
thought I
those
had to
were
give those
yours.
to the poor.
No. Those are yours, Donald. You
Thank
may
you.
have them.
Thank you.
What is the board's pleasure?
I move to adjourn, pay the bills with no business to be taken after.
Second
All in
that.
favor?
Aye.
We are
Aye.
adjourned, thank you.